It's easy above.
Wherever you want to sit.
Would you rather I stand up or yours
So you want to, did you want to talk with them with her, or what do you want to do with them?
No, I just didn't talk to them, but Dom just wants to make sure that we recognize the honor flights too.
Well, it's recognized so many organizations, not just your
Right.
your honor flags, your Quilts of Valor,
Yeah.
just titles. Reason about that.
Well, as Ken said, what's the problem? You get up early, you get up early. Yeah.
Here to go through the detail of the day. I mean, a number of us that want to sign up for having possible. Priority. But right now, it doesn't make very good health.
So you've already started the list?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing? Yeah, I think it was kind of better. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming. Did I wake you up? Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, thanks for coming to our October Veterans Meeting. And before we go on with the program, our next meeting will be on Veterans Day in November on the 11th. And we will have the choir performing along with a speaker, Ken Weintraub, who's going to talk to us about what was going on in St. Louis during World War II to support the troops. So that will be November the 11th, Veterans Day, and it will start at 10 o'clock. And our super senior singers will be performing. But today, we're going to talk about Quilts of Valor. And here to speak to that is Lynn May. Lynn May was originally from Pennsylvania, but she moved to St. Louis at the age of 19 to work at the Evangelical Children's Home as a volunteer. And there she met her husband, Frank. And unfortunately, Frank is deceased. But he's a Vietnam veteran, and her journey with Quilts of Valor began in 2017. In 2020, during the pandemic, Valor Quilters of St. Paul's were formed. To this date, they have awarded over 80 quilts. Now, there are several quilts up here on the chairs in front, which you can view. But Lynn is going to talk about Quilts of Valor, which is a national organization, and locally what Quilts of Valor does. Welcome, Jack. Our World War II veteran, Jack Thompson, is here. Okay, Lynn.
Good morning. I want to thank Hank and Mary Fisher and Sue Jackson for helping us get this presentation for you. And I'm happy to be here. Donna Rosenfelder is here with me to help with the presentation. So I want to give you a little history of Quilts of Valor. Quilts of Valor Foundation is a grassroots group of quilters from across the United States. In 2003, a quilter named Catherine Roberts decided she had an idea that she wanted to comfort veterans with quilts during their time away from home. Her son was in Iraq. The original idea became a mission, which is now expanded and now includes members of every branch of service who have been touched by war. Since it began, now I looked at the number yesterday, it's over 424,000 quilts that have been awarded. Since it began, that's across the United States, in every state. We strive to honor active service members and veterans. And Hank asked me how someone is chosen, how someone is vetted to get their Quilt of Valor. And all we ask is if you nominate someone, and then they check on their record, and then they're assigned a group. So like if someone would nominate Hank to get a Quilt of Valor, or anyone here, they would put their name in, and it would go to the National Foundation, and that in turn would go to the state coordinator, and that person then would say it's St. Louis County, and there are 2 groups in St. Louis County. And they would decide, if you put my name down, they'll give it to me. So that's how it's decided. It's not anything, terribly difficult at all. So what is valor? To some, it's facing an enemy soldier on the battlefield far from home. Valor can also be as mundane as facing and performing daily boredom tasks to support a mission not really understood by a lot of people. Valor is the act of responding to the call of military service. A Quilt of Valor is a lifetime achievement award for your response to the call. It's never sold or given away like a prize. It's a true award of service. Now, if you're a quilter, and even if you're not, you will know most of you have a quilt at some time. They know that the finished work consists of 3 layers held together by many stitches. The top of the quilt, with its many colors and shapes and fabrics, represents the communities and the many individuals that we all are. The middle of the batting, or the batting, is the center of the quilt. It's the part that gives us the warmth. The back is the strength, supporting the other 2 layers. It represents the character of the veteran, the support of his or her family, and we know that the veterans are as strong because of the families that are behind them at home, and our communities and nation. Each stitch holds the layers together and represents loves, gratitude, and tears. The Quilt of Valor is an award with a message from the hearts of quilters whom you've never met. We honor you for your service, and we honor you for leaving your place of comfort, both in times of crisis or in peace. The quilt is meant to offer comfort. When the veterans are either at home or far away from friends and family, we hope that they will wrap themselves in it, and that its warmth can remind them of a group of quilters who have them in their hearts with thoughts and prayers. And on the top of the 3 of these quilts, you will see a presentation case, which is a pillowcase, in other words. And we make those also to go with the quilt, because you should never put a quilt in a plastic bag or in a plastic tub for a long period of time. So we ask them if they'll put them in there if they're traveling and they'd like to take their quilt with them, or if they just want to have an extra pillowcase that has
nap.
to take a nap with, yes. Quilters know that freedom is not free. The cost of freedom is paid by the dedication of a small minority of men and women who serve at the present or answer the call of the past. The quilt says, "Thank you for your sacrifice." We'll never know the depth of the military service of our veterans and the sacrifice to defend the United States of America. This Quilt of Valor is one of a kind, and their name is inscribed on the patch sewn on it, so future generations in the family will know how much they were appreciated. So Hank talked about my husband. My husband passed away on Christmas Day, 2023, and the Quilt of Valor that I gave him was the one on the far left here, the first one. I had made a small quilt for him, and long before, back in 2012 or something, I made a quilt for him, and it was too small. And he said, this doesn't, he was a very tall man, and so he said, this doesn't really cover my toes. And I said, okay, well, I will make one from your nose to your toes. So I made that one, but then by the standards, it's too big. So I thought, I'm just giving that to him, and I awarded him that in June of 23, and he hadn't enjoyed it for a long time because I had done it lots. I think I did it in 2017. So I'm going to start with the pictures. So I'll start while she gets started there. The Valor Quilters of St. Paul's began in 2020, as Hank had said, the year of COVID, and we were able to meet at the church because we were a small group of quilters. I had gone to Pennsylvania to visit my mother and father in 2018, and they were celebrating their 73rd wedding anniversary. My father was a Marine, and he and Mom lived with my brother, who was also a Marine. I knew I wanted to nominate my dad and my brother, so I contacted the Pennsylvania Quilts of Valor group, and a gentleman and his wife, and he had made the quilts for my father and brother, came 2 hours away from my home to present him with a Quilt of Valor. Dad was in his 90s at that time. All of the 6 kids were there to be with my dad and my brother. And the funny thing is my brother is a very large, I would say he's a Marine, large and in charge. He's one of those guys who's always in charge. And he came out to meet me and said, "What are we doing?" And I said, "Kurt, go inside. All will be revealed. Just go inside." And he said, "Lynn, what are we doing?" And I said, "Kurt, honestly, just go inside. I will explain everything when we get in there." And for the 3rd time, and very emphatic, he said, "What are we doing?" And I said, "You're going to be receiving a Quilt of Valor." And with that, I have never seen this happen before. He turned around and walked inside without saying a word. So I finally got the last word with Kurt, the only time. So I did award that to Dad and to Kurt, and it was so exciting that all my brothers and sisters were there. That began my journey with the Quilts of Valor. I knew I wanted to be a part of this organization. I came home and looked at the foundation and had pondered over it for quite a while. Donna helped me decide that we could do this and get it started. And finally, I asked some of the regular quilters in the group that were there if they would like to join me in awarding members of the church who had and were serving. Many of them said yes. A lot of them said, "I'd like to make one of those." And to this date, it is over 80 quilts that we've done. I think there's close to 100 that we have awarded, not just from the church, but surrounding areas. So if we can get started, I'm going to show some of these pictures. Just go ahead in advance, yeah. that gentleman, oh, if you go back a sec, can you? This gentleman passed away about 3 days after I awarded that quilt to him. He was very, very sick. And that gentleman did not want a quilt, but we have a picture of him sleeping with that quilt, so I know he liked it a lot. That's one that Donna made, and that's my grandson. He presented that to his grandfather, or to her grandfather, my new daughter-in-law, granddaughter-in-law, in Arizona.
You can kind of tell them how we travel around and do this too. You tell them how we kind of travel around and do this too.
We're gonna wrap you in that. Yes, as you can see, we travel from place to place to place.
That's gorgeous.
And this is at the church. This lady was 103. She's one of the first wax in World War II that was here from St. Louis. That is my husband. I wanted to say the man that I kiss is my husband. Because I don't kiss too many men.
Lynn, tell us about the story of the gentleman that brought us his mother's quilt to finish.
Oh, okay, good idea.
No, St. Peter took care of it.
This gentleman was 98, I believe he was, Mr.
We had to
Miller.
keep it a secret. He didn't like surprises.
Yeah, so we're not supposed to do secrets. We're not supposed to do surprises because of the age of veterans. And this daughter did not want to tell him because she said he would fret over it the whole time, that he was waiting for it. So we were in the room and he came walking around. It just was scary to me. And there are 3 gentlemen that they were all in the service at different times in Vietnam. And they all served. I can't imagine what that mother must have felt like to have all 3 of her boys in the service. And they, every 6 months, or I think it was like a year or some, a year and a half in between. So we had 3 quilts that were very close looking. They were the same design. They were just different
Fabric.
pieces of fabric. So I thought, well, that would be kind of exciting to do, is to give all 3 of them the same kind of quilt, but little different colors in them. The one of them is passed away now. Good. And that's a husband-wife.
Came to watch your grandpa get his.
Is that the last one? So, and you can see some of the ladies there. We are a small group of women that meet together. We meet once a month, and at the church in St. Paul's in Creve Coeur. And we just kind of get together and brainstorm and do a lot of, sometimes we do some cutting, sometimes we do some sewing. Some people will bring their sewing machines and sew. As I was saying to Mary, she is welcome to come anytime, so we would love for anybody to come and join us. Donna reminded me of one of the first quilts that we ever did was a gentleman who was a 97-year-old and World War II veteran. He was in, like, right after World War II, but he was over in
don't remember. It doesn't
China.
matter, yeah.
Somewhere there. He was undercover, and his wife had brought to us, a friend of his wife had brought to us a quilt that his mother had worked on. So it didn't look anything in red, white, and blue at all, but it was something that she had created and had never finished. So they brought it to us, and we finished it, because we're hand quilters also. We finished that quilt, and we then presented it to him as a Quilt of Valor, and he was so excited with that.
That's awesome.
It was one of those special ones for us as we first got started. It was a maple leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. So we would love for anyone to join us, those that sew, those that don't sew. We have some members that just come for the day and help design the quilts. Some that do the sewing, some that do the ironing, some that help with administrative duties, some that only support the group through their monetary contributions. The foundation is set up, which is wonderful. It's set up so that if you make a contribution to the foundation, you can make one to the foundation, or you can make one to an individual group. So if you say, I have a grandson who's in the service, but they live in Maryland, we can definitely award him, and that group, if you make a contribution, that contribution will go to that group, which is so exciting for us as quilters to know that we're going to have some support from some of the people that have helped us with. So I would be happy to answer any questions, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask. Mary does.
What kind of material? Is there a certain requirement of material that you only use?
We only use 100% cotton.
Okay.
We try to use 100% cotton. And we make it in different colors. Certainly red, white, and blue is predominant, but we can make it anything. Some people would rather not have a red, white, and blue quilt. They'd rather have something a little different, so that's fine.
Traditional.
We don't usually make a request, unless a request comes in that says, I'd really like to have, fall colors. Then perhaps we can do that, but normally we are deciding what it is.
Where do you get your material?
From donations,
Okay.
and usually I buy them. So
A lot of it.
a lot of it I buy. So.
Where do you get your funds from to buy the material?
That's a good question. So from people like you and people that would like to, help us out with the foundation, and if they'd like to come and help us. Anyone else?
Just raise your hand, I'll raise your right.
Lynn, talk about the website and about signing people up.
So Donna brings a good question. So if you go on the website, I don't know how many of you are computer literate. You'd like to raise your hand? So you can do that. Go on the website and look up Quilts of Valor Foundation, and it will talk you right through how to nominate someone, and it will give you all the information then too about Quilts of Valor. And if you can't figure it out, there are some cards around that Mary had, and you can give me a call, and I can help you through and walk you through that whole nomination process.
Sue, once the approval has been given by the foundation that a person can receive a quilt, how long approximately does it take you ladies to make one?
Well, there's a really good question, because we are a small group, and so sometimes it will be a year, it may be a year or longer. If there's someone that has a medical condition and we need to move a little faster, then they're put on a different list. They're top of the list, and then we try to get to them as soon as we can. So just last night, as we were speaking, I spoke to somebody who her brother has been on the list for a year and a half, and I apologized. With Frank's death, and then my mother passed away also, I've been kind of a little behind things, so the group has kind of helped me get back to what I need to do. So I called them, and he said yes, he would love to receive a quilt. So that's where we're. And is this
This is Ken Winkler's.
Ken Winkler's quilt?
Exactly,
And
he got when he went on the honor flight.
Right.
Turn it around this way, please.
Yeah, go the other way. There you go.
Thank you.
That's pretty.
So the honor flight is also doing quilts for them, small lap quilts for them, which is wonderful. There are so many different organizations to help support the veterans and to give them acknowledgement and honor. There are folds of honor. There is
Wreaths across America.
Wreaths Across America. There's just so many. So if you find it in your heart to support one of those in some way, that would be great. How many here are veterans? You're all veterans, correct? Or wives of veterans. So thank you all for your service. Yes?
Are the gifts tax deductible?
Yes, they are. It doesn't say that in there?
I didn't read it.
I believe so. Don't quote me on it, okay?
You don't want to lie to us.
I believe they are. Anybody else?
So these are all hand quilted?
They're all hand quilted.
No, they're not all hand quilted.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, they're not all hand quilted. I didn't bring one that was hand quilted.
We typically do about 2 a year, maybe.
Yeah.
That we get.
Yeah, we have a couple that we do that are hand quilted, because again, the hand quilters are smaller than the Quilts of Valor group is. So,
We have
and
5.
yeah, we have 5 hand quilters. So if you'd like to hand quilt, we'd love to have you. And oh, by the way, gentlemen are certainly encouraged to and would be greatly appreciated to be in the group if you'd like to. Some of the best quilts we've seen are made by men. I don't know why that is, but maybe you're all very exact.
And a lot of engineers like.
And a lot of engineers, as Donna said, but yeah, we've seen a lot of quilts that are made by men that are just beautiful quilts.
Talk about the different, there's a group that Northeastern Missouri where that does the hand quilting where they have.
Come and talk, I don't know them.
Okay.
Would we wish to talk?
Just talk.
So there's so many different groups that contribute to our quilts. We'll get packages on a yearly basis from a woman that likes to hand embroidery, and we'll put the blocks together. I've been to the library and found groups of women that are making blocks to send to us to put together. So it's not just one little group, and it's not, I can't imagine how many thousands of people contribute to this. So it's really endearing to be part of it. And I just want to kind of bring that to the surface.
Anybody else? And you're welcome to come up and get up closer to see the quilts if you'd like. We're happy to answer any questions about those quilts here. If you feel like you'd like to nominate someone, and you can nominate yourself, that is fine. So you can nominate yourself. Most people have a wife or a son or a daughter or someone that will nominate them, but we've had many that nominate themselves, and we'd be happy to have that nomination come in to us. If you see it if you're doing a nomination, you see it, it says, do you know of any group? You can put in Valor Quilters of St. Paul's or Lynn May is easier one to remember. And just put my name in there, and it will come to me, and then we will get you on our list. Anyone else? No? Thank you for having us so much. We appreciate it, and we truly enjoy being with all of you, and absolutely thank you for your service, all of you that are here.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Lynn, and your name?
Donna.
Don? Appreciate it very much. Thanks for coming.
Thanks
And
for
remember, our next Veterans meeting is November the 11th, Veterans Day, right here. And you'll hear from the super singers, senior super singers, a renowned group of singers that appear every Veterans Day and many times in between. So thank you for coming. We'll see you in November. And thank you too for coming and sharing Quilts of Valor.